Greetings, Guyanans! I apologize for not being in your face for so long, but I was taking the time to get my story straight about this whole oily situation. There are many layers to this oil industry, and I did not want to present incomplete information. I was very tempted to put out a video when that man in Diamond discovered Guyana's BT hole. But I guess we all learned a valuable lesson that you should not poke things in places not meant to be poked. Hashtag LGBT hole, hashtag Joel, hashtag I hope you're listening, skunt. Okay, good. In this video, we will explore the side of the oil conversation that nobody wants to have. Exxon put a smoke screen over all the negatives and PR the skunt out of Guyana with all the positives. So, you may have heard whispers of the term resource curse, but not many people care about what it is. As Guyanese, you really should try to understand everything the oil industry comes with, including the good, the bad, and the skunts. The resource curse is a simple idea. When Guyana starts to get large oil revenues, we should be better off. Theoretically. Money can't buy us blue water by the seawall, but who cares? Everybody could get a swimming pool in the yard. But the reality is, if you look at other countries' response to large oil revenues, it has generally had a negative impact on their economies by damaging other economic sectors. It also threatens democracy. Nigeria is the world's sixth largest oil producer, and yet their economy suffers tremendously. China has little natural resources and emerged as the world's second largest economy, valued at about 14 trillion. Venezuela is another example of an extremely oil-rich country, yet they are suffering and half the women over here in our mining camps picking fear. More on them later. There was a study conducted over a 20-year period of 97 developing countries, and it has been found that the more natural resources they exported, the lower was their economic growth. Let's look at another example of how oil can damage our economy if the revenue is not managed properly. Trinidad and Tobago is a small country that is rich in oil reserves, and as a result of the oil boom, wages in that sector is much higher than that of manufacturing and agriculture, because everyone wants to work in oil. Industries like agriculture are looked down upon as a place for you if you failed in life, like me. As a result, the country imports approximately $1 billion worth of food products per year, way higher than the rest of the Caribbean. Going back to Venezuela, oil was discovered there in the early 1900s, and they quickly became the largest oil exporter in the world. As a result, the value of their currency increased tremendously. Exports of food and other commodities began to die as other countries found it too expensive to import from Venezuela. Oil grew to 96% of the country's total export earnings, and their economy became very vulnerable to the smallest changes in oil prices on the international market. A small increase meant everyone was having steak and broccoli for dinner, and a small decrease meant rice and butter for everybody's skunt. Some of the main factors that killed Venezuela's economy was the fall in oil prices, bad economic policies, and rampant corruption. They are currently facing the largest social and political crisis in the world. Still, Maduro does not want a raky skunt. He apparently got elected for another term. They are surely doomed. Now let's come back home and stop minding the people business. In Guyana, we are seeing an enormous interest in persons wanting to work in the oil sector. Before the discovery of oil, entrepreneurship was being promoted. Now with the oil boom, most of those prospective entrepreneurs will run after the oily jobs because wages will be higher in that sector. They would not want to take risks and start their own business, and this will lead to the death of innovation and overall development of our country. Currently, there's a spike of economic activity as Exxon prepares for first oil in March of 2020. Guyana is bracing for the first wave of newfound oil money to hit the government coffers. The government anticipates collecting $300 million in petroleum funds each year from the company's initial phase of work on a single well. This sum represents about a quarter of our current national budget. Keep in mind that there are 8 discoveries. Now on that note, we must remember that there is an election in 2020 and the PNC done positioning themselves to fund their campaign with oily money, which means the PPP crooks will have to go in their pocket deep when contesting in the next elections. The war gonna be stinking dirty. I can't wait. I will of course be bringing you day-to-day commentary during the 2020 election season in true uncut fashion. They tried to buy my channel, but I am not for sale. I will talk the things and I don't give two skunts who vex. Mudwata, boom out!
Hold up.